We have reached day 14. For many, the initial adrenaline of Ramadan has faded, replaced by the spiritual fatigue that arrives at the halfway mark. Surah Al-Hijr speaks directly to this state of mind. In it, Allah explicitly acknowledges that He knows when your chest feels tight and constrained by the pressures of your life. This anxiety often takes root when we feel at the mercy of our surroundings, our exhaustion, or negative whispers when we are weakest. Ramadan burnout is a recognized spiritual condition, and the Quran identifies the specific internal state required to move past it. Surah Ibrahim provides clarity by revealing Shaitan's ultimate confession on the Day of Judgment. He will stand before those he misled and admit he never possessed real power over human beings. He explains his method was simple. He offered an invitation. He could suggest an action, but the human made the conscious decision to respond. His final address is a total abandonment of his followers. He tells them to look inward for the cause of their ruin, saying, "Do not blame me, but blame yourselves." Tranquility returns when we stop attributing our spiritual state to external forces and take absolute responsibility. The cure begins with the law of increase, or shukr. Shukr is the practice of recognizing a blessing, acknowledging its source in Allah, and using it in a way that pleases Him. This diagram shows how gratitude functions as a strict law of increase. It is a calculation where the act of being thankful leads directly to a multiplication of blessings. This stability is compared to the parable of the good word, or tawhid, the foundational belief in the absolute oneness of Allah. The Quran describes tawhid as a magnificent tree with roots fixed deep in the earth. The opposite state is arrogance. When Iblis refused to bow because he felt his origin in fire made him superior to clay, he became like an uprooted tree, destined to collapse without a base. Peace in a chaotic world comes from the invisible, deep roots of tawhid and the active, daily practice of gratitude. We clearly see this focus in Prophet Ibrahim, who left his family in a lifeless, waterless desert by divine command. His first priority was not a request for water or wealth. Instead, he asked Allah to make him and his descendants establishers of Salah, the 5 daily prayers. He then asked that the hearts of people across the world would feel a physical yearning to rush toward this empty valley. This photograph shows the massive scale of that answered prayer. 4,000 years later, millions of people rush toward Mecca every single day. Focusing on Salah builds a firm foundation that outlasts your immediate needs, creating a spiritual inheritance for those who follow. Every time you turn to the Qibla, you are participating in the fulfillment of a prayer made in a desert 4 millennia ago. You can trust these spiritual instructions because Allah has personally guaranteed the preservation of the Quran in Surah Al-Hijr. This manuscript serves as physical evidence of that preservation. Over 14 centuries, not a single letter or vowel has been altered. Even if all physical copies were lost, the global community of Hufad, those who have memorized the entire text word for word, could reconstruct it perfectly from memory. These divine instructions are perfectly preserved. Relief is found when we move from simply reading the text to applying its lessons to our lives. Juz 14 provides a 3-step prescription. Step 1 is tasbih, glorifying Allah for release. Step 3 is yaqeen, certain belief maintained until death. The second step is sujud. Prostrating with your face to the ground is the ultimate posture of humility and the closest a human can ever get to Allah. For your Day 14 challenge, list 14 specific blessings at iftar to practice the law of increase. Then, add 1 long, isolated sujud to your night prayer to speak directly to your Creator. When life feels overwhelming, sujud allows the heart to breathe, trading the weight of the world for the stillness of prayer.